You are not going to want to miss this, right? You're not going to want to miss this. As we probably know, Shari Franke, that's Ruby Franke's daughter, has recently brought out a book. Now, I've bought the book. I haven't had the chance to look through it just yet, but I will, right? But I wanted to touch on this point. This is Bonnie, right? And Bonnie is Ruby's sister. And never to miss an opportunity to capitalize on a situation, Bonnie has put out a video about Shari's book, and she's going to tell us what she thinks. And you're not going to want to miss this. This is worse than I could ever have imagined. Ever. She's going to touch on what she thinks of family vlogging and why it's okay, right? Please don't turn off. This is brilliant. Not in a good way, honestly. Let's have a look.
I was very unsure how I was going to feel as I was reading her book, and it was a hard read. It was terrible reliving. It was terrible learning. It was, I just felt so bad for her as I was reading the book. But I also was so incredibly proud of her. The book is phenomenal. It is so well written. I couldn't be more proud of her if I tried.
And that's where this should have ended, right? This should have ended with a little bit at the end of a vlog and saying, basically, I'm so proud of my niece. She's done an incredible job. Please go and buy her book, right? Something like that. That is all that you needed to say. But of course, no, you made it like a full video on it, your thoughts and everything else, and it gets worse.
For her to say that she has not had a voice, that she has not been able to say how she thinks, how she feels, and to never be heard, and then to hear her writing this book, it was very empowering, and I was so grateful that she now feels that she has a voice and a platform and a place to say how she feels. And I hope everybody reads it and supports her and buys her book. Not only did I feel like she displayed so much hope for her herself, but as I was reading it and thinking how strong of a person I think Shari is as an individual, I know that every single Franke kid displays those same characteristics of strength. And so for me, it gave me a lot of closure in knowing they are going to be okay. I know that they will have scars that they will all carry with them for their entire lives. But if they even have a little bit of the resilience that Shari is showing, which I know for a fact that they do, it felt very hopeful knowing that they're going to be okay and that things are going to be okay for them. So as heavy as it was to read Shari's book, it still had this very uplifting feeling to the book. And I just want to say to Shari and all 6 of the Franke kids truly how much I love you, I support you, and that I just want the absolute world for you. And I can't say that without saying the same thing to Kevin. Kevin has been a part of my life for a very long time. And Shari was not easy on him in the book. And I feel rightfully so. I think that if you were to ask Kevin himself, I think he would feel the same way. I think, how could you not regret not standing up a little bit more? And I did make a video about that, and I still stand by that, but I want to change my tone to that a little bit, and to also tell Kevin how much I love him. It would be impossible for him not to have learned from the situation.
The question, though, arises, why can't you tell him on the phone, right? Why do you need to tell him on a vlog? It's a bit ridiculous, in my opinion. Just pick up the phone, say, Kevin, by the way, I love you, right? You don't have to tell him on a video. That's not how life works, is it?
All of us have. And I think he's going to do really well. And I want the very best for Kevin as well. In Sherry's book, she depicts that Ruby was not a good mom long before vlogging. And honestly, not because I'm a mad sister of what she's done. I mean, that is just such an understatement. I would also agree that I don't think Ruby has ever been a good mom. I don't think she's ever had it in her to really be selfless. I don't think that's part of Ruby's DNA. And I think Sherry was extremely valid in her feelings towards Ruby. I share those same feelings about Ruby. It has been very easy for me to get along with my other 3 siblings. Us 4 are extremely alike. My brother, my 2 sisters, myself. We all have a lot of empathy. We have a lot of sympathy. Very sensitive towards other people's feelings. And I think Ruby tried being that same way. I think she could really see how the rest of us were. And I don't think she could ever be that way because her makeup was so different. Her brain was wired so different. And
I love how she's just distancing herself from how Ruby is, right? I'm not saying that she's gonna like abuse her kids or anything in the conventional sense, obviously, but she's not much different. She's not a nice person. She's vlogged the shit out of her kids since they were born, right? So she's not much different.
I think she tried really hard to mirror the way we were, but Ruby has always been extremely different. I've gotten the question a lot, have you learned nothing from Ruby? And the answer is no. I have learned nothing from Ruby because there is not a single shred of Ruby that I would want to be like.
Excuse me. Yes, right? You were desperate to be the family vlogger that she was. You know, so yeah, don't say that there's not a single shred of Ruby in you. There definitely was.
I will never learn anything from her. Which brings me to kind of an elephant in the room. At the end of Sherry's book, she does say that she believes there should be no family vlogging. She has...
Oh, this is awkward. This is awkward, isn't it? Sherry obviously is campaigning against family vlogging right now, and her own family continues to do it. So what do they choose to do? This is what we're going to find out right now, and you are not going to want to miss this.
Publicly voice that there is no such thing as a moral or ethical family vlogger.
Okay, so that's very important. Sherry has said there's no such thing as a moral or ethical family vlogger, because quite often you see the defense. Fans of these channels will say, oh, they're okay as a family vlogger because they do it right. They do it right. No, there's no such thing as doing family vlogging right. You're still exploiting your kids. You're still exposing them to predators. Exactly the same as any other family vlogger, right? No such thing as an ethical one.
If I came from the way family vlogging was done in Sherry's position and from her perspective, I agree with her 100%. There is not one thing about the way 8 passengers did family vlogging that was moral or ethical.
They did it exactly the same as you, though. They did it exactly the same. So I'm not quite sure where she's coming from here, because everything that that we saw on the family vlog of 8 passengers was basically, well, obviously you saw the abuse, you know, really, but you also saw them being exposed to all their injuries, their tears, their fears, just being exposed to everything. And she does the exact same thing. I've seen, right, the first time I ever saw Bonnie, right, was when somebody told me, have you seen Bonnie? And the filming her 12-year-old, I think it was 11 or 12-year-old daughter shaving her legs in the bath. That was what was my first exposure to Bonnie, right? So yes, you do exactly the same as them. Do not try and tell me that you don't.
So I think Sherry is completely valid in her perspective. I'm coming from a complete opposite perspective. My kids have a voice. Their feelings matter. They have a say in what they want.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with family vlogging, right? That's nothing to do with it. Shari is saying that she didn't have a voice in her family, but that is out with the vlogging side of things, I think. Your kids may have a voice in your family, but do they have a voice in family vlogging? No, and they shouldn't do either.
They are paid, not with vacations, not with clothes or other things like that. They are employees. They get W-2s.
And that's the one good thing. At least you're paying them, right? At least they are getting paid. I'd be interested to find out how much you pay them or what you pay them for, right? Just out of interest. That no digs here, right? Just saying. But that's just one side of it, though, isn't it?
And they have a retirement that is growing in the stock market as we speak. And when they turn 18, my name will not be on their accounts. Concept of us continuing to do family vlogging after Sherry has made her stance about not believing in family vloggers is not one that we took lightly. It was not something that we brushed off of our shoulders.
These should have shut down their family vlog the minute this thing with 8 passengers and Ruby came out. The minute this all blew up, they should have just said, right, enough is enough. We're taking our kids off the internet. We're not doing it anymore. And the problem here is if these can't do it and they are related to Ruby, if Ruby's situation didn't teach even their family the right and wrongs of family vlogging, then it's not going to teach anybody else in the family vlogging world.
The first time she made that statement, we sat down as a family. Well, first Joel and I sat down together and we really thought, is what we're doing wrong? Is what we're doing okay? And we really had this conversation between the two of us. And then we took it to our kids and we said, what would you guys think if we stopped showing you? You know, what if we kept filming and we just didn't show you? And it hurt their feelings. And they said, well, why would you do it without us?
Oh my god, oh my god. These people are absolutely thick as fuck. Honestly, you don't have to ask them. You don't ask them, right? What would you do if we did family vlogging if we vlogged without you and you're just left out, right? They will say, why would you do that? Yes, I want to be in the vlog, because they haven't known any different. It is life to them. You as a parent, right, should be able to make that decision for them, right? You're supposed to make their good decisions for them because they don't know. They don't know what all the dangers are of the internet. I bet you haven't told them. Have you told them, by the way, there's about 10,000 predators on the internet snapping your picture and using it to do what they want with it. Have you told them that? How would they feel if you told them that, right? This is the thing. You can't ask them. You need to, as the parent, to tell them what is right for them.
And it made them feel insignificant. It made them feel not a part of what we were doing.
That's life, isn't it? If you were going out to a job, right, or if you had another type of business, right, would your kids say, oh, Mum, don't leave me out. I want to be a part of your shop down the road. Why wouldn't you let me work in your shop, right? Why wouldn't you let me work? Whatever. You get the point, right?
You can make the argument they don't have informed consent. Well, what is consent for a child?
Oh, okay. Now this is where you need to lift up your ears, peg them back and twist them around and listen, because, oh my God, this is a family vlogger talking about consent for a child. Informed consent as well. So she knows, she's heard what Shari has been saying. What does she think about it though?
A child can't even go in for a well check without parental consent.
Oh, she's not. She's not going there, is she? Oh my God, I've heard this argument before. Well, my kids, they need my consent to go to the doctors. They need my consent to do this, that, and the other. So they have to rely on me giving them that consent, and I give them that consent. They don't have a say in the consent that they. Oh my God.
They can't be enrolled in school without the parental consent, and so their consent is me.
Exactly. You are the one that's given consent, right? They can't give informed consent about going to school. They can't give informed consent about going to the doctors. They cannot, because they don't know the ramifications of any of these. You have to give the proper consent. Right? For example, you wouldn't allow your child just to be picked up by a stranger in the street, even if they think that that stranger is a good person, right? Because you know better. And you're supposed to know better. Because you know better, do better.
I am their consent. And the informed part comes and weighs on my shoulders. And if you're looking at family vlogging from my children's perspective, it's apples and oranges compared to the 8 passengers.
Did you hear a single word that your niece said? She said that there's no such thing as a good or ethical family vlogger. And she means it, because that's true, right? Family vlogging is inherently bad, and it doesn't matter between what she went through, her experience, to what your kids' experiences are. It's completely the same, the exact same thing. And the fact you don't get it, because Shari is talking from her perspective as a family vlogger kid, right? Your kids are going through the exact same thing, but you don't know what they're going through because you're not them.
I think that what Shari is doing is right for her, but we are living 2 night and day different lives.
Honestly, she just doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. She's actually not just only read the book, right? She has had it from her niece's mouth personally. So she knows. She's watched what her niece is doing in very, very public view about campaigning to end family vlogging. And yet she still is not listening. She doesn't get it.
And even after I finished reading Shari's book in the car, I just bawled for so many layered reasons. And I asked the kids, I said, I just want to address this again with you. If there is ever a point that you don't want to do this, we're done.
And that's brilliant. And that's as it should be, right? Obviously, if they don't want to do it, don't do it, right? Clearly. But the point is, they don't know the dangers. They don't know that you are exploiting them, or, you're paying them, apparently. But is it enough? Who knows? But they don't know the dangers that you are putting them, as their parent, that you are putting them in. They don't know. You do, but they don't. That's the point.
If there is ever a point that you don't want to talk about something, we are done. And it's a consensus as a family. We decide together.
Oh my God, right? Why do all these idiots always say, oh, well, we decide things as a family, we do. If they don't want to do it, we don't do it, but we have a discussion. No, why can't you just parent? Why can't you just say, it's enough? We can't put you through this anymore, right? You talked about the whole consenting, you give consent for them to go to the doctors, for example. But what if, right, and this is a good example, what if your child who needed to go to the doctors, you said that they needed to go, but they said, no, I don't want to go, right? I don't want to go to the doctors today because, I just don't want to do it. Would you turn around and say, hang on a second, it's actually better for you to go to the doctors, and you need to go, right? As their parent, you know the best for them. Or would you in fact say, well, actually, no, I'm taking on board my little Dorothy, and I'm just gonna allow you not to go to the doctors. Or same with school. They don't want to go to school today, so yeah, I'm just gonna let them stay off school because Will.I.am says I don't want to do that today. What's the deal here? Where do you draw the line?
Whether we continue to do what we love doing or not. And that is a hard thing. It's a hard thing because my family truly wants one thing. And then there's Sherry and her feelings.
Yeah, there's only one winner in this situation, isn't there? The family member who has been abused all her life, or the rights of your kids who want to be used as props for your TV show. I wonder which one I would choose. What the hell?
And I don't want to hurt either. I do believe that we can share a mutual respect for each other and have differences of opinions. As Sherry and I both have made it clear, Ruby was who she was long before vlogging came. Vlogging did not make Ruby a child abuser. Family vlogging did not make Ruby a criminal. Ruby did that.
Yes, Ruby did do all those things, but what she also did, you know what she also did? She filmed her kids for money. She did that, and she exposed her kids to people online. She also did that. So I'm not quite sure where your defense is on this one.
There are corrupt doctors. That doesn't mean all doctors have to go away. There are corrupt cops and lawyers and CPS workers and CPAs and restaurant owners. That doesn't mean those careers need to be gone.
I'm actually in shock. I'm in shock. This defense, there are corrupt doctors, there are corrupt cops, there are corrupt restaurant owners, but those careers can carry on going because they are not inherently bad as a profession, are they? No, those people, the corrupt cop and corrupt whatever, doctors, yes, they should be struck off or put in jail or whatever it is the punishment is for them, right? But Ruby is not in prison for her family vlogging skills. She's in prison for abusing her kids out with family vlogging.
Do I think there should be laws put in place to protect children and their wages and overworking them? Sure. Absolutely. In family vlogging only? No, but across the board, children have worked for family businesses for as long as time. And sure, if there is a lack of protection around kids in that area, great, go for that. Do I think the answer to what happened to the 8 passengers is taking away family vlogging from everybody? I don't think so.
This is absolute moron behaviour, this is. I'm actually stunned. Totally and utterly stunned.
Does that change my love and affection for Kevin and his children? No.
So I popped in the comment section just to see what the overriding feeling was, and there was a couple that stood out and Bonnie has replied to. This person said, Bonnie, what is your response to online predators looking at your children among other online kids? How is that safe or ethical? Are you willing to show your statistics for adult male viewers? I would still watch your videos even if you didn't show your kids. And Bonnie's response to this was, oh my good God, right? Oh my God. There are child predators as your neighbours. There are child predators everywhere. Every mom posting their child to Facebook is no different than me. Oh, you got it, Bonnie. You have the responses ready, okay, don't you? Yes, child predators could be next door. They could be living down the street. They could be everywhere, obviously, right? But you know what what you shouldn't do, even if that's true, right? Even if your neighbour is a predator, right? You don't go next door and say, here's my child. Yeah, no, you keep them away. Right, you keep them away. You do everything that you can to protect your child in society, right? But obviously she doesn't. She also mentions about Facebook. People post their kids on Facebook, and yes, they do. But we're talking about everyone here, right? Apart from the fact that people on Facebook are just showing it to maybe a few friends, friends of friends, etc. You're showing it to a couple of million people. You know, vastly different there. Anyway, but this whole conversation is about everyone. Everyone needs to protect their children, right? So do you coming back and saying, well, you know, Susan down the road is really doing it on Facebook? You know, it's not a valid comeback at all. Susan down the road shouldn't be showing their kids on Facebook, right? They shouldn't be. You should be promoting that they don't do that. So just saying that they do it, and I've got to say, more and more people are seeing it, that they shouldn't be doing it, and more people are taking their kids off Facebook and off Instagram. More and more people are doing that and protecting their children. Yes, you shouldn't be putting your kids on Facebook, even if you think that your account is private and you've got friends that you know, but you don't know people, right? Unless they are yourself, right? You really shouldn't be sharing your kids on Facebook to friends of friends, right? Because you don't know those people. And even if you knew somebody 10 years ago, you know, you don't know what they're like now. You don't know anybody. So stop sharing your kids on Facebook. That's my thoughts on that. But to say that, oh well, you know, anybody could be a predator down the street. Yeah, but you don't give them a picture, do you? You don't give them a picture of your kid. If somebody popped out in the street whilst you're walking down the street with your child, and they popped out with a camera and started taking a picture of your kid, what would you do? Would you just stand there and let them do it? That's the question, because you wouldn't do that, because that's wrong, right? And you know it's wrong, and you wouldn't want that to happen, but that is what is happening when you put your kid online, right? Any predator, and the scope for predators online is huge, right? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, all over the world, right? Not just down the street. So those come onto your vlog and they take a picture or download it or clip it or just screen record it or screenshot it, all those things, right? And that's what's happening to your children as you speak, right? So it's not the same thing, no. Overall, I absolutely cannot believe what she's going on about here at all in this video. I'm actually in stunned shock. She should have, as I said, she should have taken her kids off the internet the moment that Ruby thing came out, right? Because if for no other reason than just to say, look, what my niece went through was bad. What my nephews went through was horrendous, right? And then just to stand by them. But I can't understand how she can sit there and actually say all that shit, knowing what her kids, her family kids went through. It's unbelievable. Anyway, if you have appreciated this video, please give it a massive thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I know you're new. Give it a subscribe. Help me get up to 12k anyway. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye bye.